Good evening, wonderful people of Belper, and indeed, worldwide lovers of the moo. Here we are for episode 2 of Moooooovie. Okay, so you probably remember from last time that we looked at the basics of creating a stop motion animation, how to record frames, how to play them back and review them, and how to export them into a movie file to share with your friends. So what we're going to look at today is some of the more advanced features of the program. Stop Motion Studio as a program is completely free to download and use, and you can do all the basic features of creating a stop motion animation for free. Some of the more sophisticated features like green screening and adding audio and special effects, you do have to pay a little bit for. So you can either unlock each feature on its own for 79p, or I think it's well worth downloading the whole app, which is $4.99, which is pretty excellent value for money, and that will give you access to every single feature in the app. When we're actually in the movie shooting pane itself, you'll see there's a couple of interesting buttons that we didn't look at last time. On the left hand side, you've got a scroll bar which you can click at the top to unlock, and then you can drag the cursor up and down to change the view that you're getting. Now if you push it to the top, you're getting what they call a live feed, which is just literally what's coming through your camera at the current time. As you bring that slider down, you'll notice you'll see more and more of the previous image, like a ghost. And the reason that we do this is called onioning. And the reason that we do onioning is to help us guide where the last frame was. So it makes us, like, if we're kind of trying to judge our movement, for example, how our character's moving, it's really interesting to see what happened last time. And also, if like me, you constantly knock your models over, then you can find out where they were before you messed everything up. So there's also a little grid at the bottom left hand corner. And if you click that on and off, you'll notice something that looks like a noughts and crosses table come off and on. This is to help you with what you call the framing of the shot. And where those lines meet, they're called points of interest. So basically you want to kind of frame your shot so that the thing you want the audience to look at is on those points. That's called the rule of thirds. But if it annoys you, you can just click it off. Now on the right hand side, we've also got a timer. So you can see, rather than just pressing the big red button, if you want to press the timer, you can actually set an interval. You can see the seconds there. And then you can set your animations to run on a timer. So then when you press the red button, see my red buttons turn from a big red button into like a kind of stop clock, and that will then take a picture at the interval that I've selected. Okay, so if we go back from the camera view, press the back button, and we're going to go back to the project view. You can see there's lots of kind of exciting options here. For example, if we press the little microphone button, this allows us to do a voiceover. So if we click record, it will give us a 3-second lead in, and then it's a really quick, easy way of adding voiceover to your animation. For example, my rubbish voiceover that I'm going to record now.
Avashi, my hearties, the galleon is in sight. I don't know where I'm Carnish. Oh gosh, no, pirates. Oh, how terrible. Have it at you, sir. Har har har. You will succumb to Black Pete. We have the treasure. Ho, 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 ho.
I think it's fair to say that you can all do significantly better than that. I believe in you, Belper. One thing that's really important is making an awesome backdrop for your animations. Now, as you can see here, I've used an old photo softbox, but you can just use a cardboard box and cut 2 sides off it. Now, if you're very creative and artistic, you can decorate your backdrop. You can draw things, colour things in, use things like glitter or any kind of art and craft kind of ideas that you have. Now, I'm pretty rubbish at painting, and so I usually use a green screen, which takes us on to our next section. So if you click on the settings tab in the bottom right hand corner, and then go across to the little symbol with the plus icon for green screen, and you can set this to green or blue. Whether you have a something blue or something green, just select blue or green. It doesn't have to be a professional green screen. You can use green cardboard or green material, for example. One of the best green screens I ever had was actually bought from a haberdashers in Digbeth. not many people want a dress made of snot green, it turns out. Okay, so then if you look to the right of that, you can see that you can actually change the background, and this is really cool because this is where we can put our characters into different backgrounds. And this is really useful because obviously if you design a set every time, it can be quite time consuming. But with green screening, you can literally let your imagination run wild. Your characters could go anywhere you want. So there's some really great pre-designed backdrops, as you can see. But if you want to download some more, you can literally hit import, and that will go to your camera roll, and then you can download pictures from your camera's library. So for example, if you wanted to download, I don't know, pictures of Belper and put them on your phone and then green screen your characters inside Belper, that might be rather clever and a rather good way of linking it to the Moo. But I'll leave that to your imaginations. Another pretty awesome feature is that when you click on your frame, you should note that you can click on it and it brings up a bunch of other features. So you can do things like, for example, adding audio, and then that will take you to the browser of your phone, and any sound effects, any kind of sounds or songs or sound effects that are on your phone or tablet, you can insert straight into your animation. Another really useful thing to do is that you can also copy frames. Now this is really useful if you've got an animation that has like a repetitive motion, and you know, like for example, if your character's waving his arm up and down, it's sometimes a bit of a pain to like kind of go up and down loads of times. So what you can actually do is get one complete motion and then copy those frames and just keep copying them. And that's a way of cheating. It's really good. Another really useful feature is that you can erase or you can cut frames. So if you want to get rid of a frame, you can just erase it altogether, but you can also cut it and you can maybe paste it later on. This is very useful if, like me, you're always getting your hands in shot. I'm sure your animations will be much better than mine. Another thing that you can do is click on the edit function, and that lets you take an individual frame. It lets you zoom it in and out, for example. You can add text or credits, and you can even add drawings and faces on top. If you actually use the drawing feature, you can actually do a whole different style of animation where you basically just you draw your subject, and particularly using the faces, you can have quite a lot of fun with that. I'm pretty hopeless at drawing, so I don't usually do that, but I've seen some young people do some amazing stuff using that technique. So if you want to, I think that could be really, really awesome. I hope that's given you lots and lots of cool ideas. As you can see, there's so much creativity that you can add to this. Like once you've got your basic animation, you can just keep on adding more and more and really let your imaginations go wild. And again, I just can't wait to see what you produce. I'm expecting it to be utterly bonkers. Thanks, Belper. Hope that's helped you with some of the more technical bits of stop motion animation. Really cannot wait to see some of your work soon. Keep smiling, keep mooing, and we'll see you soon.